A very good afternoon, students. Today I am going to explain you the next preparation properties and applications of the rubbers. In the previous session we have seen the synthesis of nylon 6,6, Kevlar and the Buna S rubber. So today I am going to explain you the preparation properties and applications of butyl rubber and the silicone rubber and also biodegradable polymers. So let us see the butyl rubber. Butyl rubber is also called as chloroprene rubber. Isoprene rubber. It is also called as the isoprene rubber. Butyl rubber is synthesizing by the copolymerization of isobutene and isoprene. It is synthesizing by the copolymerization of isoprene and the isobutene. Isoprene is nothing but 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene. 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene. So you know 1,3 butadiene from the Buna S rubber preparation. There you have seen 1,3 butadiene. This is 1,3 butadiene. 1,3 butadiene. But at the second position, that means at the second carbon, we have the methyl group. This is 2-methyl 1,3 butadiene, n number of 1,3 butadiene, 2-methyl, and isobutene. This is isobutene. This is isobutene. We have the 4 carbons and isobutene. Here we have the 2 double bonds, 1 double bond and 2 hydrogens. Now it is undergo copolymerization. We know copolymerization is similar to the additional polymerization. What happens in the additional polymerization? The double bonds are shifting from one monomer unit to another monomer unit. Same here also. The double bond is shifting from one monomer unit to another monomer unit. It is also repeating for n number of times and it is called the isobutene. In the presence of aluminum chloride catalyst, the double bond is shifting from here to here and this double bond is shifting from here to here and this double bond is shifting from here to the next monomer. Here isoprene and isobutene, these two are repeating alternatively. So here we will get CH2, double bond is converts to single bond, CH3. This single bond is converts to the double bond because one of the bond is shifting from here to here. So double bond CH, the double bond is shifting from here to here. So the double bond is converts to single bond CH2. We will get the new bond between CH2 and the CH2. And this double bond is shifting from here to the next monomer. And these methyl groups are not participating in the reaction. So these are as it is on the monomer unit. So this is isoprene rubber or butyl rubber. Yes. So how the butyl rubber is synthesizing? By the copolymerization of isobutene and isoprene in the presence of aluminum chloride catalyst. So now let us see what are the properties and applications of butyl rubber. Butyl rubber is highly resistant to acids and highly resistant to ozone and highly resistant to oxygen. Yes, these are the properties of butyl rubber. Now let us see what are the applications of butyl rubber. Butyl rubber is using in the cycle tires. So inner walls of the cycle tires, inner tubes of the cycle tires, and also in the toys, in the footwear industries. These are using in the butyl rubber are using in the textile industry. These are using in the shoe soles or in the chappal soles in the footwear industries, and also using as a tank linings. That means inner walls of the tanks we are using and the inner tubes of the cycle tires and the motorcycle tires. These are using. and even in the conveyor belts in the food processing industry, we are using the butyl rubber. These are the applications of butyl rubber. So, the last rubber is a silicone rubber. Silicone rubber. So, silicone rubber is synthesizing in the two steps. Initially, the silicone rubber is initially we are synthesizing dihydroxy dimethyl silicon. So, initially what we are synthesizing? We are synthesizing dihydroxy dimethyl silicon by using dichlorodimethyl silicon. So, first we are using dimethyl dichlorosilicon. This on hydrolysis, hydrolysis is nothing but the reaction with the water molecule. On hydrolysis, the chlorine groups are replacing with the OH to produce dihydroxy dimethyl silicon. This is the monomer in the silicone rubber. This is not the monomer, this is the monomer in the silicone rubber. Now, this is undergo condensational polymerization to produce the silicone rubber. But you know what is mean by the condensational polymerization? Condensational polymerization is nothing but when the monomer units are adding to each other, there is a removal of water molecule takes place. That is a condensational polymerization. So, now this is repeating for n number of times. It is repeating for n number of times. So, let us write the dihydroxy dimethyl silicon for n number of times. So, which is repeating for n number of times. So, now what happens? Condensation takes place. Condensation means removal of water molecule. Now, this hydrogen, this OH, this hydrogen, this OH, this hydrogen with other OH, and this OH with other hydrogen. If your hydrogen is eliminating, here OH is eliminating. If your hydrogen is eliminating, here OH is eliminating. Yes. So, there is totally elimination of n number of water molecules to produce the silicone rubber. So, what we will get now? Single bond, silicon, methyl groups. The new single bond is forming between this silicon and this silicon. New single bond is forming between oxygen and the silicon due to the removal of water molecule. SiO, new single bond Si, methyl, same now, oxygen and silicon, in between that we will get a new single bond, CH3, again O, repeating for n number of times. So, this SiO, Si unit is repeating for n number of times is called the silicone. So, silicone is nothing but SiO, Si repeated for n number of times, that is called the silicone. So, this is the synthesis of silicone rubber. So, silicone rubber is synthesizing initially by using dichlorodimethyl silicon. This dichlorodimethyl silicon on hydrolysis producing dihydroxy dimethyl silicon, which on condensational polymerization producing silicone rubber. So, now let us see what are the properties and applications of the silicone rubber. Same like the remaining rubbers, it is also highly resistant to oxygen, ozone and the acids, but it is soluble in the benzene. It is soluble in the polar compounds, but it is soluble in the non-polar compounds, but whereas it is not soluble in the non-polar compounds. Yes. So, it is especially soluble in the benzene. It is soluble in the non-polar compounds. So, it is soluble in the benzene, but which is not soluble in the polar compounds like alcohols. Yes. So that is the properties of silicone rubber. And one more, it is highly resistant to water also. Here almost all the rubbers are highly resistant to water, but the silicone rubber is highly resistant to the water molecule. Yes, so these are the properties of silicone rubber. Now let us see what are the applications of silicone rubber. Due to water repellent nature of silicone rubber, it is acting as the coating material in the tanks. Especially in the tanks, we are using the silicone rubber instead of the butyl rubber because it is having more water repellent nature. Because of that reason, we are using this as the coating material in the inner walls of the tanks. And not only in that, also we are using in the paper industry, that means for coating of the paper. And the next we are using as the lubricants, it is also using in the lubricants, and it is also using in the paints. So we are mixing the silicone rubber in the paints. When we mix the silicone rubber in the paints, it will give the more water repellent nature. Yes. So these are the main application of the silicone rubber. Yes. So that is butyl rubber and the silicone rubber. So now let us see the last topic, that is biodegradable polymers. Just a minute. So biodegradable polymers. But before going to see the biodegradable polymers, everyone we know what are the drawbacks of the non-biodegradable polymers and how these non-biodegradable polymers are polluting the environment. Yes, that means we must save our environment. So we must keep our environment green. So to do that, we are preparing the biodegradable polymers. Yes, so we know what are the drawbacks of the polythene covers or many non-biodegradable polymers. What happens, the non-biodegradable polymers, these are not decomposing in the environment easily. Yes, so these are not easily decomposing in the environment. It will take almost many years for the decomposition in the environment. And during decomposition process, these are releasing the pollutants in the environment and these are spoiling the environment. So to save our environment, we need to synthesize the biodegradable polymers or biodegradable products. Yes, so let us see the biodegradable polymers. We have only one topic in the biodegradable polymers. But before that, just let us see what is biodegradable polymer definition. Biodegradable polymers. So the biodegradable polymers are nothing but the polymers which are decomposing in the environment in the presence of bacteria or in the presence of enzymes or in the presence of fungi is called the biodegradable polymers. And these are not releasing any pollutants in the environment. So without polluting the environment, these are decomposing in the environment easily. That is called biodegradable polymers. So we have many examples of biodegradable polymers. One is polyvinyl acetate, polyvinyl alcohol, polylactic acid, polybutyrate. Here these are the biodegradable polymers. But in our syllabus we have the polylactic acid, we have polylactic acid, so let us see how to synthesize the polylactic acid. Polylactic acid is synthesizing by the condensational polymerization of the lactic acid. Polylactic acid is synthesizing by the condensational polymerization of the lactic acid. So this is the lactic acid. So we have the chiral carbon in the lactic acid. This is a chiral carbon. Chiral carbon is nothing but if the carbon is surrounded by the 4 different atoms, that is called the chiral carbon. So this is the lactic acid. This lactic acid on condensational polymerization. So to represent the condensational polymerization, let us repeat the lactic acid. So let us write the lactic acid structure for 3 or 4 times for representing the removal of water molecules. So this is repeating for n number of times. So we know what is mean by the condensation. Condensation is nothing but removal of water molecule. Now from carboxylic acid hydrogen, from OH is eliminating, from carboxylic acid hydrogen, from OH from carboxylic acid hydrogen is eliminating in the form of water molecule, from carboxylic acid OH, H, and from OH water molecule is eliminating. So there is totally elimination of n number of water molecules. So now here O, C double bond O, C CH3, single bond O, because due to the removal of water molecule, C double bond O, C CH3 hydrogen, and new bond between carbon and oxygen, C double bond O, C CH3 hydrogen, and the single bond which is repeating for n number of times. This is the synthesis of polylactic acid. So how the polylactic acid is synthesizing? By the condensational polymerization of lactic acid. Yes. So this is the synthesis of polylactic acid. Now let us see what are the properties and applications of the polylactic acid. So polylactic acid also highly resistant to the atmosphere and highly resistant to the water and highly resistant to the corrosion and highly resistant to oxygen, ozone and atmosphere and the sunlight. So these are the general properties of the polymers than polylactic acid. Now let us see what are the applications of polylactic acid. So there are very interesting applications of the polylactic acid. Especially polylactic acid is using, not only polylactic acid, many biodegradable polymers are having many medicinal applications. Especially the biodegradable polymers are using in the implantation and the bone fixation devices. These are using in the bone fixation devices. So when the fracture happens, to join the two bones, we are using the biodegradable polymers. This biodegradable polymer is increasing the strength of the bones. It is increasing the strength of the bones and which is decomposing in the human body harmlessly, and it is decomposing slowly, that is gradually, harmlessly in the human body, and which is not harmful to the human being. Yes. So that is a major application of the biodegradable polymers, and not only in that, even in the cancer therapy and in the drug delivery systems, that means even in the drug synthesis we are using the biodegradable polymers, and remaining applications are the general applications by using the polythene bags, plastic bags and the toys. We are using the biodegradable polymers. So these are the general applications of the all biodegradable polymers and the polylactic acid. So with this we have completed all the preparation, properties and applications. Totally we have, especially CSC and EEE students are having PVC, Bakelite, Buna S rubber, butyl rubber, silicone rubber. These two we have seen in the today's class, and this we have seen in the previous class, and these two we have seen in the before last class. And along with the Buna S rubber, we have also seen nylon 6,6 and Kevlar. So these all preparation, properties and applications are there in your syllabus, in civil and the EEE syllabus. So with this we have completed all the preparation, properties and applications. Yes, along with that we have seen the biodegradable polymers also. And only one more topic is left, that is conducting polymers. That we will see in the next class. Okay, thank you so much.